course, agency problem and agency cost. So far, I try to explain as easiest as possible. I believe you have you have the basic understanding regarding this concept as well. Then we explain, we discuss business ethics, corporate governance, and then stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? What is the difference between a stockholder and stakeholder? Okay. So before moving forward, let me check. Okay, still it's very early. In our last class, we did some mathematical question regarding time value of money. So we have seen that the timeline of cash flow and the basic definition. I mean, what is present value, what is future value, and how to calculate that. Okay, so far, we have understand that. And when we are talking about discount rate, means when we are doing present value, I mean compounding or discounting, we're using a rate. So discount rate basically said, considering so many things. I mean, cost of capital, risks involved, what current opportunity you are leaving behind. All of things need to consider very carefully. Only then you can set a discount rate. Okay. All of this we cover so far. Present value formula, and then with the single formula, how we can rearrange it and calculate the PV as I mean AV and PV as well with the same formula. Okay, so far. Yes. Do you remember in our last class we practiced this question?
Yes, ma'am.
So I would like to start from here so that if any of you had any confusion before, it can be clear. You would like to buy a new car, you have 50,000, but the car costs 68,500. If you can earn 9%, how much do you have to invest today to buy the car in 2 years? Do you have enough money? Assume the price will stay the same. So what's the question actually trying to say? It's basically saying that if suppose, for example, you have 50,000 today, you want to buy a car that will cost you 68,500 after 2 years. But you want to know that whether the money I have right now, means the 50%, if I invest it, will that be enough for buying the car if I can earn 9% interest? That's the question basically. So what you need to do from the question, now you understand 68,500 is the future value. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to find the present value of the 68,500. Only then you will understand the whatever. If the present value is less than 1500, after calculating that, if you find that the present value is less than 1500, 50,000, then you will understand that whatever money I have, it's enough to buy the car. But after calculation, we find that the present value of 68,500 is $57,655.08. That means that I have 50,000 right now. It's not enough to buy. If I invest this amount and get 9% from this investment, it will not enough to purchase the car. That means I have shortage of $7,655. If I need to invest, if I want to invest to get to buy the car, I need to invest. I need to add this money with my with my current available balance. Then only if I invest, I will get that amount. Okay. So before we start today's class, so do you have any question regarding our last class so far?
No, ma'am.
Give me one moment. Thank you. Give me one moment. I want to join with my phone as well so that I can see the answer. Okay. So if you understand the previous question, I mean all of them, please open your calculator and pen, paper. Try to solve this one and share the answer in the chat box. You would like to buy a new car, not this one, this. Your parents set up a trust fund for 10 years ago that is now worth $19,671.51. If the fund earned 7% per year, how much did your parent invest? So whenever you need to think here a timeline. I have shown you the timeline. Let me explain it before you solve this question. Whenever you're solving a mathematical question, you always need to understand the timeline first of that particular question, then only you can answer. So if, for example, your parent invest something 10 years ago, okay, that means we're talking about sometimes before. If this is a timeline, please be very careful. If this is a timeline, forget about present and future. If this is a timeline, then what actually the question is saying? Your parent investing something 10 years ago means we are talking about before some time. Now today you have some money. I mean, after calculation, or you can find that whatever your parent invest, now that money become this much. So sometimes you would be confused that when the question is saying now or today the money is worth that much. So you can think that maybe this is the present value. But no, whenever you're doing math, that's why you need to consider the timeline first. Because in the here in this timeline, your parent, whatever your parent is invested, that is the previous one, and from that investment the amount that become, that is today. So previous and today, compare that. So of course today is the future for that particular situation, because they invest in their past. So today is the future for that investment. And previously the question was asking, 10 years ago your parent invested some amount, right? That 10 years ago is the present for the particular question. So you need to understand that if it said today, that doesn't mean that it's present. You need to think about the present perspective for that particular question. Please try to solve this question and share your answer with me. Thank you, Nitisha. Thank you, Hasibul. Thank you, everyone, for calculating the answer. Yes, you're right. The answer is 10,000. You can round up. If you find 999 point something, you can round up it to into $10,000. Okay, so this is the answer, that your parent did invest 10,000. That's why at 7% interest rate, that's why the amount is today worth $19,671.51. Okay, please try to solve this one also. Your company proposes to buy an asset for $335. This investment is very safe. You will sell the asset in 3 years for $400. Okay, so your company proposed to buy asset. If you buy that asset after 3 years, you can easily sell it with $400. Now, if you purchase this asset $335, after 3 years, you can sell this asset with $400. But you know that you could invest the 335 elsewhere at 10% with a very little risk. So if you don't accept the proposal of the company, then still you can invest your money somewhere else at a 10% interest rate. So you have two options here. Okay. So what do you think of the proposed investment? So what do you think that with whatever your company is proposing, whether whether it good to go with that or not? So please calculate the answer and try to find the solution of the question. If any of you don't understand the question, kindly let me know. Sad, can you please do the calculation again and let me know whether you get the same answer or not again? Thank you, Nitisha Hasibur. So, Sad, what's your answer now? Okay, thank you. If you are with your calculation, please let me know the decision that you want to provide. That means, what do you think of the proposed investment by the company? Mahdi, Fatima, please let me know your decision as well with the calculation. Sarah, can you hear me? Sarah Islam.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you think it's a good investment in buying asset there?
Ma'am, because in after 3 years, when I will sell the assets, I will get $400. But if I invest it now, then in future I will get $445. $45 will be my. I will get $45 more than selling the asset in 3 years.
Okay, then I think you get the point right. Means you understand properly, but you write in a little bit confusing way there, because of the investment proposal from the company. You are saying that you should not go with that, but you write good to invest in buying asset. That is the proposal of the company. You are saying that you don't want to go with that.
Oh, ma'am,
Am
sorry,
I
I
get you
misled.
correctly?
Yes, ma'am. The typing was wrong, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. That's why I want to clarify from you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Asha Islam Tumpa, can you hear me, dear? I think Tumpa has some connection issue. Okay, so far I believe you understand this question. Future value of $335 is more than the value of asset in 3 years, because the question itself saying that the asset 3 years you can sell with $400, but the future value of this amount of 10% for 3 years is $445.89. So of course your decision will be I don't want to go with the investment. I'll invest my money. I mean, I don't want to go with buying the asset. I'll invest my money somewhere else. Okay, so this one, finding discount rate. Discount rate I already explained so far. So let's see how you can calculate the discount rate. With the same formula, what you need to do, you need to just rearrange the formula algebraically, then it will be very easy for you to find the answer. I wanted to show you how you can do that, though I know that you already know how you can, rearrange the formula and finding whether we're asking you to find, let me get a point, whether we are asking you to find the value for r or value for t. I know that you can do that, but let me show you a little bit, then I think it would be much more clear to all of you, so that you can calculate all the mathematic question related to this. So please respond me, okay, so that I understand you can understand each and every line that I'm explaining. So from this line, can I make it this? I mean, I take PV from right hand side and divided it in left hand side of the equation, means FV divided PV equal 1 plus R to the power T. Can I write like this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so please see very carefully. Okay, so the same formula. Now, what I need to do? I need to find the value for R, right? Discount rate. But how I can find that? From this to the power t, I cannot find the value for r directly. So what I need to do, I need to remove this t from here. Only then I can break down this equation, right? So how I can do that? If you just take a root over t into both sides, first of all, you need to understand a rule of any equation. I believe you already know that whatever you want to do in one side, you need to do the same with the other side. I mean that if you want to multiple 100 in the left side, because you want to solve the equation, at the same time you need to multiple 100 in the right side as well. So here, what I did, I take a root over t both side. Then what will happen? I can cut this t and this t from here. This is the rule. I believe you know that. So if, for example, here the value of t is 5 years, then what you need to take? Root over 5 both side. Okay, then this 5 will be cut. Then you can easily remove this t from your equation. From here, like I said, when you have a to the power t and root over t same, then you can easily remove these two. That means what we get, we know that if it's root over 5, then we'll get PV divided FV 1 divided 5. If it's root over 2, then we get PV divided FV 1 divided 2. Now the value here, there is no value, of course, this is the formula, root over t. So we can write as well FV divided PV 1 divided t. And this t and this t we cut using algebraic way, then we find 1 plus r. Are you clear until here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So from here, we can easily find the value for r, right? We just need to deduct 1 in our left side. Same like this. Okay. So are we clear about finding discount rate?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
only
ma'am.
the tricky part is you need to understand how you can remove the t from here, and that is very easy, taking root over whatever the amount in the power you have, just root over that amount. If it's 10 years, take root over 10 both sides. Then you can easily solve this question. So if you understand this formula, please let's try how we can solve this question. You are looking at an investment that will pay $12,000 in 5 years. If you invest $1,000 today, what is the implied rate of interest? So basically, all the information you need to solve this question, PV, FV, number of years, you have. Only the information missing here, discount rate. You need to find that. So please try to calculate this and let me know the answer. Thank you, Saad. Thank, thank you, Tasmima, Shahid, Sadek, Fatima, Shayan. Thank you, everyone. Akib, you just mentioned the percentage, I think, the amount missing. Thank you, okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much who have joined shared the answer with me. Just give me one moment. Afrid Imtiaz Ahmed, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Afrid, is there any issue? You didn't share the answer yet.
Ma'am, আমার অ্যান্সার তো মিলে না, আমার 0.037% আসে।
Still, you should share. Maybe you are the right one.
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
In the previous math, we divided the the rate of the rate of the the rate divided it by 100. And in this math, should we divided the final R by 100? Like the person who just said 0.3,
Whenever you get
0.37.
the whenever you get the rate, you need to convert it into percentage.
Yes, ma'am. That means he's correct, ma'am.
Afraid,
Yes, ma'am.
could you please share your answer, whatever you get so far, so that I can understand your scenario and can explain?
0.037%.
Then share it there. Whenever we're talking about discount rate, if you get any, 0.037%, it means 3.71. You need to convert it to percentage. Multiple with 100. Can you please do that, Afri?
Yeah, ma'am. Now it's 3.71%.
So is it correct or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Then don't be confused so much. Okay? Whatever you find, just try to share so that see your friend can help you as well. So we can get a correct answer.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem, Afri. Azra Sadia Eka, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Eka, what's the scenario?
Ma'am, I did the math and I got 3.71%.
Then you need to share that as well. Otherwise, I may think that Eka didn't understand the math.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, Eka. Okay, so the answer is 3.714% or 3.71%. So, Afreed, you can see here the answer is 0.03714, right? That means we need to convert it. So don't be confused or make any mistake. Whenever asking the discount rate, rate is always in percentage. Please remember that. So if you find an answer like this, whatever you find, you need to convert it to percentage. Because if you just put like this 0.0371%, then it's of course you get the correct answer, but it's still little bit mark we need to deduct because you didn't do it, you didn't follow the standard way to write a rate. Okay. Okay, so please try to solve this question as well. I know you can do this, but let's just practice. It's also gonna be very helpful for your exam as well. So suppose you are offered an investment that will allow you to double your money in 6 years. You have 10,000 to invest. What is the implied rate of interest? Okay, so double your money means what? Can anyone tell me what will be the amount here?
20,000.
Now
20,000.
20,000.
20,000, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So now you know the amount. Please try to solve the question. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So you get the correct answer, which is 12.25%. Okay, so are you clear until finding this? I mean, about finding discount rate? No confusion, right? Because we know how to rearrange the formula now. So there will be no issue to finding the discount rate if I ask you to do so. Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
So now from that particular equation, you know how to find PV from there, how to find FV from there, as well as you know how to find R from there. And the only thing left is number of period. Okay, the T or N. How we can find that? Again, what you need to do, we need to solve the equation first. We just saw how we can find R from the same equation. Now let's see now how we can find T from the equation. Now, T means here we need to find the value for this to the power amount. Okay, we normally call it T or N. So how we can find it? Like I showed in like I showed in the previous equation, I can easily convert it in this line. I mean, FV divided PV equal 1 plus R to the power T. Then what I can do to convert it, I just rearrange this formula. I mean, I took right hand side to left hand side and left hand side to right hand side. Okay. So now, what we can take to solve this value of T, you can do that if you want to know normalize the power amount, or if you want to find out the value of the power amount. What you can do, you can take log or ln to do that. If you let me show a photo of your okay, you all have scientific calculator so far, I believe. So you can see here L and ln. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so you can take ln or log, either one, and you can solve it. So let me show you one by one. So, okay, what we take log here. Okay, so when we are taking, I mean, ln here, when we are taking ln or log, what it actually, how it's impact on your equation, you can take this t down in the front, then you write log or ln 1 plus r. Okay, the only difference here, your t is, the to the power t is in the front now. If you take log, you can do this. This is the rule of algebra. You can do this. So if you take log, you can take this to the power t in the front, and then t ln or log 1 plus r. And like I said before, whenever you're doing equation or solving equation, whatever you take left hand side, you need to take the right hand side as well. So that's why we take log here in the left hand side. So same thing, take log in the right hand side. So you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the value that we can write simply t here, t equal, we can just this is multiple, t multiple log 1 plus r, right? So what we can do, we can just simply divided this amount in this side. Or what you can do, if you don't understand this way, what you can do, like I said, whatever you want to do in the left hand side, you need to do that right hand side as well. Then to find the value for t, what you can do, you can divide it ln 1 plus r both side. Then this ln 1 plus r and ln 1 plus r, we can cut this. Only left thing will be t. And this side same. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this way we can easily find out the value of the t, taking ln or log both side. Okay, so this will be the formula to finding out the value for t. T equal ln AV divided PV divided ln 1 plus r. So how you can find the value for loan? Okay, for example, your PV is $110. Okay, FV is 100. How you can find the loan? What you need to do, you need to just press loan first, then put a bracket, then 110 divided 100. Always after loan or log, you need to put a bracket, and inside the bracket you need to put your amount. If you don't put the bracket, you'll get wrong answer. Okay, so this will be the formula for finding t. So if you understand how you can find the t value from this equation, please try to solve this question. You want to purchase a new car and you are willing to pay $20,000. Okay, if you can invest at 10% per year and you currently have $15,000, how long will it be before you have enough money to pay cash for the car? Number of years. Please try to calculate and let me know the answer. Thank you, Afri. Yes, Sad.
Ma'am, I was disconnected for the last few minutes. Can you just show the formula for T?
This one.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem, Sad. So far I can see that you get the answer, so which is of course correct. So you easily can find out the value for t as well. So basically, if you cannot rearrange the formula, it's quite easy to calculate. So you need to understand how we can rearrange the formula. Please allow me 1 minute. Okay, so please read this question very carefully and then try to answer this one as well. You need to find here number of pairs, but this question is little bit tricky related to other question. So try to understand this question first, then answer. Okay. Suppose you want to buy a new house. You currently have $15,000 and you figure you need to have 10% deposit plus an additional 5% in legal fees. Okay, 10% deposit and additional 5% in legal fees if you want to purchase a house. If the type of house you want to you want cost about $150,000 and you can earn 7.5% per year, how long will it be before you have enough money for the deposit and legal fees? Okay, so the point we need to note here, the question is asking how long will it be before you have enough money for the deposit and legal fees. Okay, not for the whole paying the whole amount, remember, for the deposit and legal fees. So first of all, we need to know how much what amount that you need to pay for deposit and legal fees. We don't know the amount here. First of all, we need to calculate that. Now in that question there is a hint here that 10% deposit, you need to have 10% deposit. 10% of what? 10% of the total amount. Okay, 10% of the total amount you need deposit plus an additional fee. The interesting thing of additional fee means the paperwork and all of that. Whenever you're paying deposit first, that means you're paying that installment in in the first period. Okay, so for additional fee or legal fees, legal fees, that means that whatever amount you already paid, there will be no legal fees for that, because the legal fees, the paperwork all is written that you need to pay after your deposit how much left that you need to pay. So regarding that amount you need legal fees and all of that. So whatever you already deposit first, you need to deduct it from your total whatever deposit you will pay, that will not consider for your legal fees. So you need to understand the question first. Of course that I'll show you of course how you can calculate, but Just try a little bit so that what you get from the question, I can know that. Okay. So please try to read the question again very carefully and what do you think? Based on that, try to solve it. If you cannot get the correct answer, I'm here to help you. No worries. Okay. And please feel free to share whatever answer you get. If all of your friends get different answer, doesn't matter. What you get, try to share that because here we all learners. You are learners here. Okay, so if you understand everything, if you get all the result correctly, there is no point for you to attend the class because you already know everything. So don't think that way. That maybe it's a little bit shameful if I share a wrong answer. No, it's natural, believe me. So whatever you get, please share that. Aki, try to do the calculation first. Then let's see. Of course, I'll show you every step. But what you get, try to calculate the final answer. Then let's see what happened. Okay. Sad, Hasibul, Sadia, thank you so much that you shared. I'll show what is actually the correct answer and also the procedure. So thank you so much for sharing the answer. First of all, you need to find the value for total deposit and legal fees that you need. Then you can calculate the number of N and in the number of periods. Then let me show how much do we need to have in the future. First of all, we need to calculate the deposit at the legal fees. Now, like the question said, 10% deposit. 10% deposit of what? 10% of the total amount. So I believe you get it correctly. Deposit is 15,000. Now, what about the legal fees? Deposit plus additional 5% in legal fees. Now you already, for example, you already paid the deposit. Because first, we know when we are talking about deposit, first we need to pay the deposit. Because here the question is saying like that, you need to deposit first for getting the house. Now you are paying deposit. So after paying deposit, whatever amount will be left, with that amount, you need to pay the legal fees. That means that 5%, we know 5% of total amount, but we cannot get 5% of total amount because we already paid. For example, we already paid deposit, and we know that legal fees doesn't. I don't need to pay legal fees on deposit money. So please remember that. That's why we get $6,750. Now just add these two, and together your total amount you need in future is $21,750. Do you understand until here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you have all the amount. You just need to put the formula, and you can easily calculate 5.14 years. Akib, is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
No problem. So you need to understand the question, then only you can solve it. Okay, so far for calculation, so far what we cover when we have a single cash flow, right? Now let's see how you can find out the present value or future value if you have multiple cash flow. Multiple cash flow means 100 you will get after 1 year, 200 after 2 years, suppose like that. Not the same, I mean, not the single cash flow, multiple cash flow. For example, you're offered an investment that will pay 200 in year one, 400 the next year means year two, 600 the following year means year three, and 800 at the end of the fourth year. This is multiple cash flow. You have multiple amount for each and every year. So now you need to calculate present value if you can earn 12% on similar investment. Means this is also interested. If it's a similar investment, don't be freak out, because it's normally what happen whenever you go for an investment, you always consider what percentage are the similar type of investment offering. So that's why, like if you remember the other question initially that we solved, that if the if you have another opportunity, means if you invest in a similar project, then you can get 10%, like that. So you can earn 12% on similar investment. Then what is the most you should pay for this one? If you are offered this investment opportunity, and you know that if you invest your money, then you will get 12%, then what is the most you should pay for this investment? You just need to find out the present value, because these all value are future value. How you can find out the present value? You need to discount all these amount one by one. Before, what we did, we just put the single formula and put the information, we get the result. But now, as the amount is different, you cannot do you cannot solve this question with a single line. What you need to do, you need to discount each and every year amount one by one. Then you can add all together, you will find your present value. So the formula will be same. The first year amount is 200 in 1 year. So 200, that is 1 year, you're discounting. So whatever amount you find, and then 400 for 2 years, 600 for 3 years, and 800 for 4 years. So you need to discount all this amount individually. Then whatever amount you get, you just need to add all together. But previously what we did, if it's just 200 for 4 years, what you did, 200 divided 1 plus 1.12 to the power 4. We don't need to calculate it this way for the single cash flow. We can easily calculate using the formula. But here we have multiple cash flow, so we need to calculate one by one. Do you understand this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first investment, I mean the first cash flow, 200 in year one. So we just discount it. I mean, we're discounting this amount only for 1 year because the investment is next year, in 1 year, and we know the present time is today. And 400 in 2 years means that's why we're discounting this for 2 years. Okay, so following this, we'll find the present value. Now, I believe if I give you any example calculating present value of multiple cash flow, you can do that. Now, future value of multiple future value of multiple cash flow. If you have several cash flow, find out the future value. For example, you deposit $100 in 1 year. Previously what happened, we said that okay, so for example you deposit 100 um, for example 4 years, then how will get, if there is an interest, how much amount you'll get in future. But now it's a multiple cash flow, so you deposit 100 in year 1, 200 in year 2, and 300 in year 3. Okay, so what will be if the interest rate is 7% and you have, how much will you have in 3 years? With the formula, can you calculate it? You need to do one by one. Can you do that? I'm giving I'm giving you 3 minutes to do this. For each year 1 minute. Please let me know. I will explain. No problem. For doing for solving this question, what you need to understand the cash flow for the the timeline of cash flow first. The timeline, if you understand, it's very easy. You deposit 100 in 1 year. Please remember the timeline. What we have in the timeline: first 0, then 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. So first 0, here there will be no deposit in 0 time. You deposit 100 in year 1, 200 in year 2, then 300 in year 3. So how much will you have in 3 years? Whatever you get, everyone, please try to share that. Thank you everyone for sharing your answer. I can see here that the first one, like I said in the sorry, like I said before, for the first one, if you for solving this question, what you need to do, you need to understand the timeline of the cash flow first. So for this amount 100, I put here to the power 2. Why I do that? Because your deposit this amount in year 1. If the timeline is total 3 years, mean you start with 0. Let me show it, then come for here. Okay, this one I think we have a 3-year cash flow as well. Okay, this one. The question is saying you in deposit 100 in year 1, right? First of all, what you need to find, how where you need to find the future value here, right? At the 3 years. After 3 years, how much will be that amount means here. Now, if you put the first deposit here in year 1, then for how long or how much period you need to discount it? 1, 2, right? From here to here, 1 to 2, 1, 2 to 3, 2. If you deposit some amount here in year 2, then how much will be to the power value? Only 1, 2 to 3. If you deposit something today, then after 3 years means 1, 2, 3. You understand the timeline now?
Yes, ma'am.
So now the question was saying the first deposit in 1 year, 100 1 year, so means here this cash flow. So to the power we use the n is equal 2 for this one. 1, 2. If the second cash flow is year 2, I mean if it's 200 for year 2, then the n equal will be only 1. And whatever you deposit in year 3, will you get any benefit from that in year 3? No, in year 4, there will add interest for that. But if you invest it here, now you are calculating the future value here. So you will not get any interest for that because you just invest that amount. If this is the whole timeline for 4 years, then of course after 4 years you will get the benefit of investing in year 3. Now you're investing 300 in year 3 and you want to know the future value in year 3. So how can you get any benefit of this amount? Okay, so let me show how we can solve this question. Maybe after explaining the timeline again, it will be clear to all of you. So 100 in year 1 means n equal to 1 to 2, 1, 2 to 3, another 1 means 2. Okay. So for 200, the n is 1, of course, because here 200 you deposit in year 2. That means 2 to 3 is only 1. Now, you compounding these two and you get the benefit for investing in year 1 and year 2. Now you want to know the future value in year 3 and 300 you are investing that particular year or depositing in that particular year, then how you can get benefit from that? So year 3, the value will be same 300. So after adding all together, the total value in 3 years will be $628.49. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Naveen,
ma'am.
and Saad, is it confusing now still?
No, ma'am. No, it's clear, ma'am.
Okay. So, like I said, I strongly recommend you to understand the timeline. What I did in my BBA or MBA, if I had any mathematics related to time value of money, I always draw a timeline. If I get any question, I always draw a timeline. If you draw a timeline, if you can draw, it's very easy. You just need to draw a one line, then the first one is 0, next period is 1, then 2, 3. If your question for 5 years, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So just put all the amount in the timeline first, then it will be very easy for you. If it's multiple cash flow, I strongly recommend you to do that. Otherwise, it's very easy to get the wrong answer, because sometimes it's confusing that okay, 100 in 1 year means maybe I need to put it here in 0. 1 year means after 3 years it should be 3, all of that. But if you understand the timeline and you know how you can put the value, I mean, if it's today, only today, if the question say you deposit 100 today, then that amount you'll put under 0. Then for that amount you can compound it for 3 years. Okay, so if you understand the timeline and can draw it, please do that. Then there will be less chances that you make, I mean, almost zero chances that you can make mistake regarding this question. Okay, so now I would like to explain a little bit about annuities and perpetuities. Before I do that, do you have any idea regarding annuities? I mean, what is annuity? Any of you?
No, ma'am.
Ismam ur Rahman. Can you hear me there?
Yes, ma'am.
Rahman, do you have any idea regarding annuities?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Rahman. Let me explain a little bit what is annuity. Um, have you heard that before? Like, for example, if you want to purchase a refrigerator, or maybe you're purchasing a washing machine, have you heard before regarding EMI?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What do you think? What is EMI? When we are paying EMI, what we do, we pay same amount of money again and again, right? Maybe if I purchase a washing machine, if the EMI is, the time period is 12 months, each and every month I need to pay a same installment, right? That
Yes,
the
ma'am.
whole
Yes,
amount of
ma'am.
that washing machine, I divided it into 12. Then whatever amount I'll get, I will pay each and every month. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That's actually annuity. It's a very easy, nothing complicated. If we are talking about the same amount of money and paying again and again for a certain time of period, then it's annuity. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
If, if someone asks you what is annuity, can you explain?
No, ma'am.
Why, Saad?
Ma'am, I guess annuity is the total sum of the EMI process.
Annuity is a installment basically that you need to pay same amount installment. For example, you purchase a bike, okay, on EMI. Then what normally happen? The whole amount of that, whole cost of that bike. What they do, if you get, for example, 6 month EMI, then 6 month they will divided that whole amount into 6 months. So each and every month you need to pay a fixed amount, same amount for 6 months. Then after 6 months, the EMI complete. Have you heard this concept before, Saad?
No, ma'am.
Saad, have you heard this concept before about EMI?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you think? What is EMI actually? Whatever I explain, is it EMI? Is this the way we follow in EMI? Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Then this is annuity. Same amount of money you are paying over a period of time.
So the annuity is the EMI, right?
This is one example. There are so many things can be annuity. If you're paying something, the same amount after each month or each year, this is also annuity. So basically, now let me show you the slide. EMI is actually, like I said, Sat, it's a one example of annuity. Basically, a finite series of equal payment. Like I said, EMI is equal payment, right? The same amount of money I'm paying each month. Okay, so equal payment that occurs at regular intervals means the same amount of money you are paying each month, each year, maybe each semi-annually. I mean, you're paying semi-annually means after a certain, I mean, a regular interval, you're paying the same amount again and again. That is annuity. Sad, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear,
Now
ma'am.
tell me what is annuity.
Ma'am, annuity is the payment we pay every month, and which is the same amount until the total amount is finished.
So equal payment, right?
Yes,
Equal
ma'am. Equal
payment at
payment, ma'am.
regular interval. So now, if someone tell you what is annuity, or someone tell you, see, I am paying EMI for my motorcycle or for my whatever, then you'll say, oh, that means you're talking about annuity.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. That's annuity.
that will be a good impression if that person doesn't know what is annuity is. Okay, so there are two parts of the annuity normally. One is called ordinary annuity, another is the annuity due. So, for example, for some of our payment, we need to pay at the end of the period, right? If the first payment occurs at the end of the period, normally, I mean, maybe the last 7 days, within the last 7 days of a month, then that is called ordinary annuity. Okay, if the first payment occurs at the end of the period. But if the first payment occurs at the beginning of the period, maybe the first, within the first week of, I mean, beginning of a month, then it is called annuity D. So there are two types of annuity. One is ordinary annuity, another is annuity due. Another term that is perpetuity. If there is any annuity, which I mean, if there is any equal payment that for infinite time, means there will no end. You are paying, paying, and paying. There will be no end. In that case, that is perpetuity. There is no end. You cannot say the number of period is this. Okay, sometimes this situation also arises, maybe some insurance policy or something like that. If someone say that, normally people do that, this is for perpetuity, how much, I mean, it will end with your life. Something these types of arrangements also happen. So this is for a infinite, I mean, infinite time. There will be no end. Okay, so this is perpetuity. Now, the formula for perpetuity is very simple. PV divided equal to C divided R. C means payment. The equal payment we are talking about, that is C, or you can say PMT, both. So the formula is very simple for perpetuity, and believe me, the question as well very simple whenever it's perpetuity, because you'll have the information for payment and interest rate. Then you can easily calculate perpetuity. And for annuity, the formula for PV is C here. For the formula for PV is here. The C represent payment. R, of course, we know interest rate, and T is the time period. The formula is also given here. Okay. C, just what is new thing here? C. C is the payment, the equal payment. Now, one example, for example, you can afford $632 per month. Means that you can pay as a payment $632. You can afford that amount each month to pay as installment. Okay, the rate is 1% per month for 48 months. How much can you borrow? If the rate is 1% per month for 48 months, and you can afford to pay installments $632 each month, how much can you borrow? So you borrow money today, so you need to compute the present value. That is the question. So how we can find out the answer? With the same formula. So we know the formula here is payment. That means we can pay, like we said before in the question, we can afford $632 per month. So this is the payment, and 48 is the number of period, 48 months we can pay this amount. And of course, the percentage, the rate is 1%. So is it too difficult to find?
No, ma'am. It's easy, ma'am.
So you just need to understand what the C represent. That is the payment, and of course the 48 months here. Future value for annuity. That one we calculate present value for annuity. Now this is future value for annuity. So suppose you begin saving for your retirement by depositing $200 per year uh, for a retirement fund. If the interest rate is 7.5%, how much will you have in 40 years? So see, for this purpose, we also pay, we also call it annuity. For example, only not for this. Suppose you deposit in a bank as well, because we know sometimes we do fixed deposit. That means each and every month we pay some amount, right? Not you, maybe your parents do that. So that is also we can call annuity, because this is, of course, they are paying a fixed amount, equal amount of money each interval, right, each month. We can easily relate to this, because I think almost all the parents normally do that. They do some fixed deposit, or they have some this kind of arrangement with the bank. So here you need to find out the future value of the annuity. How we can do that? With the same formula. The payment is 2000, of course. The percentage is 7.5, and the number of periods is 40. So easily we can find out the value for annuity. So if the question is say annuity, don't be freak out. This is the new term, but it's not anything that is difficult. Okay. Okay, whatever we have. Okay, so whatever topic we have left, so far left, I will teach you in our next class, Monday, right? The day after tomorrow. I'll teach you that, because today, so far, we covered so far many things, and I believe you understand. Am I
Ma'am,
correct?
I have a question, ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Ma'am, the time part, should we do it in month
If the
every
co-
time?
if the if whatever you're paying, if that is in month, then you need to do it in month. For this art, don't take much stress, because in our next class I will try to solve a question how you can solve it monthly, semi-annually, quarterly, or yearly. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Can you
Abhi.
please share the slide in the classroom?
Yeah, today I will do that, because last week you didn't have your Monday class, so I didn't do that. Today I'll do it. Not the
Thank you.
slide, but the topic that I have covered so far, like I shared before, I'll share for last week as well.
Ma'am, it will be, ma'am, really helpful if you just put the math parts.
Saad, whatever I feel that could help you, I'll share, no problem. But of course, I will not share each and everything that I discussed in class so far, because then you will not get the motivate to study the book. But of course, I
Ma'am,
will
if
share that
ma'am,
much. What? Yes,
ma'am,
Zabi.
if you share the examples, it would be help for
Yeah,
us.
I'll do that, Zabi, no problem. So that you can pick the topic from there and can study from book as well. So far, I'll do that.
Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. So let me call your name very quickly, then you can go back to sleep.